The WNBA has been catching fire lately, not just for its growing fan base and intense gameplay, but for a string of controversies that are spiraling way out of control. And now, at the center of a growing firestorm stands Connecticut Sun's Dijanai Carrington, who's being called out by fans, analysts, and former pros for what many are calling her latest dirty attack on the league's newest star, Caitlin Clark. Carrington, already under the microscope for her aggressive playstyle, has just found herself in hot water again. And this time, the situation is so intense, so explosive, that many are wondering if a permanent ban is now on the table. We're talking suspension, fines, and possibly the end of her WNBA career. But how did it come to this? And why are so many fans now demanding the league protect Caitlin Clark at all costs? Let's break this down. The latest incident happened during a high-stakes matchup that saw the Sun take on the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's team. The game was already heated from the opening tip, but things really took a turn in the second half. That's when Carrington, known for her lockdown, defense, and no-nonsense attitude, got tangled up with Clark in a sequence that fans are calling blatant and reckless. Video replays show Carrington sticking unnaturally close to Clark, bumping her on screens, jawing at her after the whistle, and then, the big one, delivering what looked like a deliberate shove while Clark was mid-air trying to complete a layup. Clark hit the floor hard. The whistle blew, but not for a flagrant, just a common foul. And that's where the outrage started. Immediately, fans stormed social media. "What are we watching?" one user wrote. "Carrington should be ejected immediately." Another fan posted, "This isn't basketball anymore. It's targeted harassment. Protect Caitlin Clark." And the movement started. Bidar Protect Caitlin began trending nationwide. Even NBA players started chiming in, with some suggesting that if this had happened in the men's league, the player would have been suspended for multiple games, minimum. So let's talk about the context here, because this isn't Carrington's first rodeo. She's quickly building a reputation as one of the league's most aggressive players, and this latest incident adds fuel to a fire that's been smoldering all season. Critics are now pointing out a clear pattern: repeated flagrant behavior, questionable fouls, and a seemingly personal vendetta against the younger stars in the league, especially Caitlin Clark. And why Clark? Caitlin Clark has brought something to the WNBA that it desperately needed: attention, eyeballs, ratings. She's filling arenas, selling jerseys, bringing millions of fans who had never watched a WNBA game before. She's electrifying. Her deep threes, her court vision, her leadership, it's LeBron-esque, it's Steph-like, and she's only a rookie. But with that spotlight comes backlash. A lot of it. Especially from some veterans and mid-career players who feel like Clark is getting too much attention too soon, that she hasn't earned her stripes, that she hasn't paid her dues, and Carrington seems to be the face of that resentment. Now let's be clear, tough defense is part of basketball. This isn't ballet. The WNBA is physical, intense, and every inch on the court is earned. But what fans are seeing now feels different. This isn't just gritty play. This feels like bullying, like jealousy turned physical, and the league can't afford to ignore it. Even more shocking is that this isn't being addressed head-on by the league office. No statement, no review announcement, no word from the commissioner's office. Nothing. Just silence. And that silence is being interpreted as complicity. Former players are also stepping in. On a recent ESPN panel, WNBA legend Rebecca Lobo didn't mince words. She said, "When you've got young talent bringing millions to the game, you don't let them get battered like this." It's not about favoritism. It's about protecting your product. She's not wrong. Caitlin Clark is arguably the most marketable player the WNBA has ever seen. So why is the league standing by as she gets hit, shoved, taunted, and slammed night after night? Let's zoom in on Carrington again. Her fans say she's just playing hard, that she's being made a scapegoat, that because Clark is the golden girl, anyone who challenges her will be painted as a villain. But others argue, and this is where the league must pay attention, that there's a line, and Carrington keeps crossing it. Her body language, her intensity, her comments on social media, even liking posts that mock or belittle Clark. It's all adding up. And what's more dangerous than one dirty play is a culture of looking the other way. We've seen this before in sports. When young stars emerge, there's always pushback. But the job of the league is to channel that into competition, not chaos. There's a reason the NBA protects Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. There's a reason the NFL protects quarterbacks. Because they understand the business. The stars are the engine. And here, the WNBA has a goldmine in Caitlin Clark. But if they don't act now, if they don't lay down real consequences, they risk driving her away. The constant physicality, the lack of support, the uncalled fouls, it's wearing her down. You can see it in her post-game interviews. You can feel it in her energy. And let's not pretend this hasn't crossed over into real consequences. This incident with Carrington could have resulted in a serious injury. What if Clark had hit her head? What if she sprained something? Are we going to wait until that happens before real action is taken? As of now, fans are demanding justice. There's a growing petition online calling for Carrington to be suspended indefinitely, with thousands of signatures rolling in by the hour. Some are even calling for a permanent ban, arguing that repeated aggression should come with escalating punishment, especially when it threatens the league's top assets. Of course, a permanent ban is rare. It would be unprecedented in this context. But the conversation being this loud says a lot. Fans are angry. They feel unheard. They want to see the league take a stand. Not just with statements, but with real enforcement. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has stayed mostly silent. Classy, professional, focused. She's refused to take the bait in interviews, instead sticking to team goals and improving her game. But her silence shouldn't be mistaken for weakness. She's clearly aware of what's happening, and it's clear she's relying on the league to have her back. Now, whether or not Carrington will face real discipline remains to be seen. The league has said nothing publicly, but pressure is mounting. Sponsors are paying attention. Networks are asking questions. And fans are already planning to boycott future Sun games if Carrington isn't held accountable. There's a moment happening in the WNBA right now. A real turning point. This isn't just about one foul. This is about what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. One where jealousy and aggression overshadow talent and growth? Or one where new stars are nurtured, protected, and elevated? Dejounte Carrington is a talented player. No question. She's fierce. She brings fire. But when that fire turns into targeted violence, when competitiveness becomes cruelty, the league has a duty to step in. Because at the end of the day, fans don't just tune in for drama, they tune in for greatness. And Caitlin Clark is greatness. So the WNBA has a decision to make. One that will echo far beyond this season. Will they act decisively? Will they protect their stars? Or will they risk losing everything they've worked so hard to build? The clock is ticking, and fans are watching. Fans are watching.